What's up, viewers, subscribers, and agents alike? It's your boy Enlightened Luciferian Prince coming at y'all once again with another upload. Um, I've been busy this past week. It's not nothing negative, nothing wrong, or be kidnapped, whatever the case may be. Unfortunately, everyone's birthday just so happens to be in the month of fucking July. Everybody's born in July. I don't know what it is. But between July and August, everybody has a birthday. Everybody. You know how many birthday parties I've been to in the past week? How many people I've been around that had birthdays in the past week? It's just astounding. You know what I'm saying? You go around December, everybody born around that time of year. You know what I'm saying? You go around goddamn November, maybe a few people you know. But everybody born the damn summer. So that means that the parents were doing a lot of wintertime humping the year before. Long story short, people, I'm back. And I want to also address the audience on one specific subject. It came to my attention recently that somebody recently contacted. I'm not going to say the person's name, but has proven to be genuinely ingenuous. And unfortunately, when it comes to people who contact me via email, who need suggestions for whatever the case may be, I'm going to put it plain and simple to you. Once you contact me via email, you better be a serious inquiry, or I swear on everything that's good that I breathe for, I will not contact you. Period. Said person, name aside, has told him, fuck shit up, as usual, when it comes to a good cause to help people and enable people. They want to make it seem like it's all about profiteering. They want to make it seem like it's always about this and that and the third, what the case may be. Listen, if your wallet's a little tight, I understand. It is what it is. Trust me, everybody's going through something in some form or fashion or another. But one thing about Lord Enlightened Luciferian Prince is that his channel has never been about profiteering. Simple. So before people try to make me out to be the bad guy, so to speak, bad guy, which they love to try to do, try again, because this is not the channel. Not for that cause, not for that cause, or any other cause. I could start a channel just unboxing sneakers and do some dumb shit and make a killing. Like, easy. So it's not really always about that. But I understand the spiritual warfare context. I understand the ideology. Trust me, everybody that contacts me that's melanated, trust me, I know you're not for my cause. Because a lot of you motherfuckers, some of you, I should say, in regards to, your stance and who you work for and who your master is, y'all work for the beast. You know what I'm saying? How many times I've been contacted by agents like y'all thought y'all was slick, you try to undermine the whole ideology. Like, come on now. I've been doing this for a while. And I've been studying for a while. So I think I know who to look for. I think I know what to look for. I think I know who to discern in regards to whatever the case may be. And if you're just negative, then it's just you. So it's up to you. My creator enabled me to enlighten people and enable people to learn more at a very effective price. So before we get it all mixed up with profiteering, trust me, I'm straight in my personal life. I can move and go wherever I want, whenever I want, however I want, with whoever I want to go with. So trust me, no encumbrances whatsoever. But needless to say, I hope you have a good life, and I hope whatever you're running from, you run into it. So before that goes forward, let me tell you something right now also on my channel. My channel is not a school for scoundrels. My channel is not a school for people who want to try to evade social maneuvers, who want to try to evade social occurrences. My channel is for mature people who basically know what they're dealing with socially and how they want to have a responsible approach to what they're dealing with. It's not about trying to evade. It's not trying about get over. It's not about trying to deal with the law, trying to evade the principles. Listen, whatever you dealt with previously, some people, majority of people who actually view this channel are actually older than me. So that means that you've been dealing with your problems a lot longer than Lord Enlightened Prince's channel has been existing. That's not my problem. My job on my channel is to inform you, particularly of what you're dealing with. It's not to help you evade or try to be elusive about your own personal dealings. Trust me, If you probably deserve it, I'm not going to jump in and save you because it's probably your karma coming right back to you. So trust me, I'm not Captain Save 'em. Anywho, with all that said, with all that spewed, with all that due, let's talk about something. I want to talk today about Maritime Admiralty Law. Some people say Admiralty. However you wish to pronunciate or enunciate, it's still the same thing. Now, some people think that these two laws are different. They're not. Maritime law and Admiralty law is still the law of military and corporate policy, whether people wish to believe it or not. However, there's a side of it, there's a side to it that you have not been exposed to that teaches also that maritime and Admiralty law also deal with the spiritual context behind what is also known in the so-called doctrine of the Vatican known as the Holy See. Now, what does this have to do with each other? Because the military dictatorial powers, so to speak, of the enforcement of the Jesuit corporation, also known as the United States, has to also do with hijacking a vessel. But to primarily prove the purpose behind what I'm saying is that the Vatican Corporation, also known as the Holy See, is particularly the mystery organization behind the Babylonian mystery system that basically institutes the world as a water planet. Now, we've grown up all our lives hearing the same thing. The Earth's a water planet, yada, yada, yada. Your body is 75% water, 85% water, whatever the case may be. So it always has to do with water. But we've never asked one particular question as adults. Who fomented and who actually implemented this policy for us as a social whole, I don't care where you reside on the face of this earth, as a social whole, to say that this is the dictatorial law system that we have to abide by. Now the plot thickens because these popes, so-called popes, who came before these so-called presidents, who long existed before presidents, also set the precedent to be based upon the Babylonian mystery system behind Isis and behind Osiris. So what we know as planet Earth in the Babylonian mystery system is actually called the ship of Isis and the coffin of Osiris. So people who think that they know a lot about the mysteries in the United States and Masonry and whatever the case may be, you may think that you know, but right now you're riding on a vessel also known as the coffin of Osiris. Whether we believe that or not is what it is. You do your own research. For people who wish to actually delve into that research, I suggest you read a book called The Two Babylons. Once you actually get into the book, you'll find out exactly what I'm saying is very true. Now, whether your religious views or your secular views, or whether your legal views, or whether your statistical views are opposed to that, it is what it is. You cannot deny the fact. This is a very old book. And trust me, it's long before censorship even existed. Now, I want to make an example of what I'm saying because I want people to also understand what I'm saying is very real. And I want you to know that what I'm saying is real according to the etymology section of what we call the English language. We have to understand that we also use a word unwittingly and unknowingly in our personal lives. We also use the word ship on quite a consistent basis. Let me just give you a few examples. Citizenship, which we also know too well on this channel. Marksmanship, relationship, mentorship, scholarship, companionship, dictatorship, worship, sportsmanship, and craftsmanship. Now, all of these words have what? The suffix at the end that says ship. For something to be ship, let's look at the definition of maritime law. Maritime law, also known as Admiralty Law, is a body of laws, conventions, and treaties that govern private maritime business and other nautical matters, such as shipping or offenses occurring on open water. International rules governing the use of oceans and seas are known as the law of the sea. Now, with that word being said, we're going to talk about this Vatican ideology. Now you see why so many laws, if not majority, from the French influence or so-called English influence, Anglo-Saxon influence law, through the obligations that they had through ancient agreements with the Vatican, also proposed that they use their recommended system of law, are always in Latin. What do these words mean? Citizenship, a citizen on the vessel. Marksmanship, a marksman on the vessel. Relationship, a couple on the vessel, which obviously with the marriage contract, people know that what goes on with that. We'll delve into that later on in the series. Mentorship, a tutor on the vessel. Scholarship, a student on the vessel. Companionship, a duo on the vessel. Dictatorship, a dictator on the vessel. Worship, a devout on the vessel. Sportsmanship, an athlete on the vessel. And craftsmanship, an artificer on the vessel. Everything on planet Earth, which is considered a water planet, is on the Maritime Admiralty ship of commercial activity. Understanding maritime law. In most developed nations, maritime law follows a separate code and is independent jurisdiction from national laws. The United Nations, which is behind a whole bunch of shit, through the International Maritime Organization, has issued numerous conventions that can be enforced by the navies and coast guards of countries that have signed the treaty outlining these rules. Maritime law governs many of the insurance claims relating to ships, cargo, civil matters between ship owners, seamen, and passengers, and piracy. But in the strictest sense, they want you to believe that it only strictly has to deal with the H2O utility of what we call ocean or sea. No. What we have to understand is that the Holy See is governing the vessel, also known as planet Earth, for everybody who dwells in the ocean, so to speak, of commercial activity. See, people never understood when they said in Revelation, the beast that came out of the waters. It didn't come out the physical, literal water, so to speak. It came out of the waters of the people, as it says according to your research, if you do your due diligence. I'm not saying I hold the Bible in high esteem, but I'm just saying if you understand the concept behind the Roman Maritime Observatory, also known as the Vatican, you'll see exactly what I'm saying is true. So, since the waters are the people are considered vessels. The people are considered businesses. The people are considered cargo. Because when you're born, you are delivered onto the face of this earth, also known as dry land. And since they assumed jurisdiction over you, they assumed jurisdiction over your particular corporate persona, you are considered a vessel, or you're considered a taxable entity, whatever you wish to call it. You're still considered a business, whether you like it or not. This is something that was fomented against you, but I'm helping you get the proper understanding in less than 20 minutes. Since the time of your birth, you came from your mother's water, which is the amniotic fluid, you were deemed lost at sea. When a ship pulls up to port docks, the vessel with the cargo must detail all the goods on board. This is when the ship pulls up to berth, B-E-R-T-H, synonymously birth, B-I-R-T-H. Birth and berth sound alike phonetically. And a certificate must be presented as the evidence of what goods are brought on dry land, just like what a bill of lading is when ships pull to port. The certificate must detail specifically what product has been delivered and what the delivery consists of. In constitutional law, you cannot board the citizenship unless you are born on the commercial vessel of United States Incorporated. In other words, your birth certificate is your boarding pass on the commercial vessel of your navigation on these commercial waters. In America, the death certificate is your departure and discontinuance on the vessel of planet Earth. Your mother is the vessel who comes to the delivery room to be seen by a doctor to give delivery and birth of the vessel, which is yourself. The doctor places your name, weight, height, footprint, handprint on the certificate of live birth, yet you have not boarded the ship of citizen because you have not been registered. When you register property, cars, guns, ATVs, boats, you name it, whatever the case may be. You register people when they board the ship of citizen. They then can be considered commercial property. Once you are registered, you are considered property and have been salvaged from sea and fall under, which is subject of Admiralty, Maritime jurisdiction. And you learned that significant truth in less than 20 minutes. Most people don't understand whether or not they wish to be dissonant about the fact that they have been bought, sold, manipulated, maneuvered, and lied to. And yes, people, once this election passes, you people of color, who melanated, or whatever you wish to call yourself, I don't really like to use the word black because it's very offensive. But it's an all-engrossing term that we use, particularly. If you wish to vote in a corporate democracy, you better understand that particularly you are being used and utilized as commercial corporate property for a foreign election in a place that has no legal recognition of who you are except to use you as a political base and photo opportunity. It is what it is. If you believe your vote counts, turn this video off. I placed the video on my channel months ago, but years ago I touched on the basis of it, but months ago, about voter registration. It's just very nice. It's very funny how I have had very little inquiry, and it's for good reason. It's perfectly fine, about removal from voter registration. But the same people who sit and want to actually gain information about removal from voter registration still want to operate in the capacity of a corporation. Well, people, that's your choice. It is your choice. Trust me. I'm not sitting here trying to be anti-government. I am pro-government because I govern myself. I'm not for America, so to speak, as a corporation. No, not at all. I'm for self-governance, and that's what matters. And when it comes to people being very naive about the concept of voting and the concept of it all, you're voting inside of a DC corporation that has mystic purposes behind it. And every time you go to the Washington Monument to try to partake in all of these so-called sociological rituals that the opposite end, so to speak, on the end of the spectrum, is fomenting against you in America, they are using your own historiological and ethnic sciences against you. And yes, you go vote. If you go to DC, you try to be there in person, you go actually partake in a sociological ritual in the big phallus of Osiris, which is called the Washington Monument, which is the same height as the apex of the pyramid in ancient Kemet. But that was no accident. They knew what they were doing. You just don't. And unfortunately, because, it impregnates you socially to get you to buy into it, and it disseminates its information to you, you buy into their system lock, stock, and barrel. That's your choice, but you're on a vessel called planet Earth, which moves in its distinct appellation, also known as the universe. So, somebody knows a little bit more about life than you do, and they know what's going on, but you don't. You're focused on the sociological issues that have no significant importance whatsoever to do with anything in society, and unfortunately, for a lot of people viewing this channel, you're going to pay for it. And not only you, your kids are going to pay for it too. It's just a fundamental fact. Not to mention, because so many people don't want to come to the accountability or the responsibility to actually engage upon their own personal affairs maturely, you're going to fail. It is your choice. It is what it is. See, my channel doesn't get millions of views, ads, and sponsors and everything. It is what it is. It's only for the few. It is what it is. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I'm not out here for fame. Like I said, I can dedicate a channel just to doing dumb shit if I was about fame. But that's not the case. My choice of my content is to be informative and as bluntly honest as possible as I can be about what sociological issues face us today, but have been facing us for generations. Whether the system likes it or not, I don't care. I'm not here to appease the system. I don't work for the system. I've never worked for the system. I've never worked for any governmental entity, nor am I recruited by any governmental entity under none of these circumstances whatsoever. That's clear as the air on that. But I know that there are some people that watch this channel that are. But again, telling the truth is not illegal. You may not like it, but it's not illegal. According to your system of law, you may not like it, but it is what it is. This is a fundamental fact. Awareing people of what they should be aware of is the most dangerous thing to a system that has often led itself by deception. for countless centuries. We're talking about centuries now. We ain't talking about just a few decades. I'm talking about civil rights movement. We ain't talking about those minuscule instances in history where people were basically like, well, it be what it be, it is what it is. They can do whatever they want. No, they can't. They don't. No one has the authority to do whatever they want. People do what they should, according to the Creator's design. But unfortunately, we have left our posts as people to be responsible as adults and lead a responsible life, to be politically reactive and also sociologically conscious. But unfortunately, like hoes on the strip, some people just like being told what to do and where to send their money to. That's your choice. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Whether people like it or not, I don't care. But what I'm saying particularly is that I put this video and these other videos on my channel, which I will continue to do today. And I put them up there as awareness to those who will take it. It's what it is. To those who won't, it is what it is. Trust me. I'm not sitting out here every video, sitting here wishing for you to bid and, hey, yo, give me some change, whatever the case may be. If you wish to donate, if you wish to support, it is what it is. It's perfectly fine. But no one's bending your wrist. Trust me, no one's bending your wrist at all. This information, if you pay very close attention to what I'm saying on my channel, you won't really have to pay shit. But some people are opportunists and they want to make it seem like everybody that's inside of the ideology in which I present is all about profit. That's not the case. I would be no better than the people I speak against if I was always about that. There's plenty of other things I could do to actually, invest or do other shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm a creative person. I can start a podcast. You know what I'm saying? I can do so many other things. I can sell clothing. I can do whatever the fuck I want because I afforded myself the liberty to do that. I don't have to clock in and answer to a corporate master, but then secretly rail against them. And no, I don't have to do that. I spent hard years doing research, doing study, going through the whole process of making sure that I could afford myself this position in life because I understand that that's the vitally most important thing I talk about on my channel, which is self-reliance. If you don't want to be a self-reliant, if you want to be a dependent, please cut this video off and unsubscribe. But if you're with it, as I said before in the previous video, this channel ain't for bitches. It's not for the weak. It's not for the soft. It's not for the timid. And it damn sure ain't for the motherfucking apathetic. If you're any of those definitions, this is not for you. What kills me is that most people, they go to different channels, they look at different content, but for some reason they can't make their mind up. But does that mean that I'm the problem? No. Does that mean that they're the problem? No. It's the person watching the video. It's the person watching the content not really being aware of what the fuck they're watching in the first place. So, to some people, it's just entertainment. It's just fun. It's something to look into. Some people, sounds good. But there's a very minority people, I should say, so to speak, who have actually taken the actual steps, not advice, the steps to actually free themselves sociologically. And guess what? Those people are living successful lives today. All thanks to the dark, deep corners of the annals of YouTube from Lord and Light Luciferian Prince. But I'm not here for praise and applause. I'm just glad that their lives speak for the fucking truth of what I'm saying. That's it. That's all that matters to me. People, wake up. Because now you have no other choice. So I'm glad things are going the way they are in society today. I'm glad shit's fucked up. People say, what do you mean? I'm glad it happened this way. Why? Because sometimes you need to be shaken to be awakened. Now, instead of being fearful, be proactive. Turn your fucking computer on, get to fucking studying. Do some fucking research. Do something about your situation. Don't worry about politicians trying to dictate to you what comes next because you're only going to get the same thing that you've been getting. Most people ask me how long does the redemption process take? Let's see. You in quarantine for what? 5 months, so to speak? So 6 months, something like that? You could have been had it done. You could have been had it done. You could have had it done, completed, and proceeding forward with a prosperous life. But no. People are still contacting me from 4 fucking years ago, asking me about shit I already explained. That means for 4 years, you sat mentally indolent. That's very fucking sad. That's very sad. Straight up. I have never in my entire existence seen people sit for that long. Straight up. And not do a damn thing. It's what it is. Sit 4 more years. Don't worry about it. I know newbies in this whole maneuver, this whole ideology, and they made it further in 2 months than most people made it in 4 years. And I subscribe on my channel. I think it's very sad. Serious. It's very sad. But teach his own. It's your choice. It's the way you want to have it. It's the way you want to deal with your life. It's the way you want to live your life. It's perfectly fine. But me, I opt out. I have a prosperous one. Trust me. Creator certified, creator guaranteed. It is what it is. So, people, contact me via email, serious inquiries only. If you send me detailed emails about a whole bunch of questions that I don't want to answer, that's for consultation. Consultation means particularly you have to space a time for me to address your questions personally. Certain things I can't address online, certain things I won't address online. That's personal. That doesn't mean consultations, to be honest with you, are not free. People who've dealt with me for years, they know for a fact what I'm saying is true. You're not paying for the information. You're paying for my fucking time. That means I have to send 60 minutes of my personal existence aside to help you address your problem. Lawyers don't do it for free, so why the fuck should I? As a grown man told me straight up, if you're good at something, don't ever do it for fucking free. Facts. Overstood. So people, pardon my coarse approach, but can't pussyfoot it nowadays. Can't sit here and speak to you people nicely. Can't sit here and speak to the audience nicely because that's for other channels. That's for other people that y'all listen to. That's for other channels y'all subscribe to. That's for them. Lord Enlightened Luciferian Prince is blunt, whether you like it or not. And agents, fuck you. Y'all take care. Peace. Contact me via email, serious inquiries only. Other than that, I have nothing else to say. It is what it is. Stay tuned for the next upload.